Yo, what's going on? It's Navy Vet 88. Appreciate y'all tapping in for this video on how to paint your rifle. I used three different colors with this rifle. As you can see, it was all black. We ended up using a tan, a OD green, and some type of matte brown finish that we got out of Walmart. 3 cans. It only set me back about $4 a can maybe, but it was definitely worth it. So starting off, you can see we had an all blacked out rifle, and we finna make some work. So yeah, this is how you type it up. We taped up pretty much every piece that needed to be taped up when it comes to things that don't need to get painted, from the apertures on your iron sights, the glass, your muzzle device. We were gonna paint the Surefire, but we decided not to. We'll just do a test. And the test that we did was basically on a magazine. We just wanted to get a good idea on how things would look in retrospect to the whole thing being done. So starting off, we had some spray. We used a little tan, and the tan was basically just the base coat that we did for the entire thing. As you can see, I'm just kind of misting around on it, just trying to make sure that I get a full area coverage of every piece of it, because I don't want to leave any pieces black when I know that the dark pieces that will be on it are going to be more of a brown color, if anything. So yeah, I just pretty much just kept misting away at it as much as I could, trying to fill in all of those hard to reach spaces basically as soon as I started, while also trying not to overspray onto my concrete floor in my garage or to create any type of drip or sagging look to the paint, because it's blotchy, you sprayed it too close. So I just kind of give it a little room to kind of go back and forth, and it kind of give me an idea how far away I am and how much I can spray and how much I need to back off of it. Now moving over here, as you can see that front black piece on the quad rail, I had some goon tape there, and I didn't realize it until I started painting that I never took the goon tape off. So I had to pretty much come back and hit all of those spots up while I still touched up everything else. So it wasn't a big problem. I just pulled out my pocket knife, cut it, and kept moving. But that's why I say you should tape off your muzzle device. As you can see up in the front, I'm able to pick it up with no issues, and also it's keeping paint from getting inside of your barrel, even though the energy and gunpowder and everything that's flying down that barrel probably be enough to burn any paint that's in there smoothed up out of it. But it makes me feel better, so I do it. Now that we're on the other side, we're just gonna do the same thing again. We're just pretty much tanning the whole thing off, just getting that whole tan base coat going on before we start to bringing any other colors into the equation. Like I said, I just want to get all of the black covered up as much as possible, and then from there I'll be able to get an idea on how I want it to really start to look on the finishing product. I'm not gonna lie to y'all, this was my first time ever painting anything that had to do with any type of firearm, and I was always nervous about doing it, just because I was just like most people would say, you do it, you don't like it, you feel like you've messed it up. So after watching enough videos, I said, hey, what the hell? I'm gonna go ahead and do my own rifle. I'm not gonna pay to get it Cerakoted when I could spend $20 on some spray paint and get something that looks even better. So that's what I did. I bossed up. I got my spray paint for about $15, and I went to work on some old Target papers that I never used. And honestly, it was very satisfying doing it. As soon as I started and saw that first initial mist of tan go over it, that whole shock value just kind of like went away. I was like, oh, okay, I'm started. Got to finish now. So, hey, as soon as I started to feel a whole lot better about it, honestly. And I was ready to move. All right, so now coming up, we're going to give it a little bit more spray just to fill in those extra spots that we had misted over. And just getting that full all around tan coating over it. I was going to initially pull that Daniel Defense grip off because of the rubber, but I decided not to, because I enjoy the feel of that rubber. So if it breaks off, it just breaks off. Once I started painting, I realized that, hey, if I mess up, I can always just paint it again. So just the same as if the paint starts to come off of the grip because it's rubber, I can always just paint over it again. But I do have a B5 system stock pistol grip that I like to use a lot too on one of my other rifles, so I might swap it out one day after this whole spray session is over with this one. So moving forward, now that we done got everything touched up, we touching the last little spots around the brace. I wasn't too worried about the Velcro strap because I know that piece will rub off at some point and I'll be spraying that again. So I wasn't too worried about putting a lot of attention onto spraying the Velcro strap on the brace. Now we just go flip it back over, and I'm outside as y'all can see. I can well, I'm in my garage, but the garage door is up, and I'm right at the edge of it, so I'm getting all types of wind blowing in, so it's drying really really fast, which is a good thing because now I can just keep flipping it back and forth while I make the video. And as you can see, I'm just rattle canning away. I'm about to get crazy with it in a second and just let go. But yeah, man, this is probably the most cost-effective way to create the best ideal image of something that you want when it comes to any type of firearm. I'm talking about you getting them real Call of Duty skins going on right now with just using your own spray can paints. Next up, when we coming over here, we'll start to work with a little color, and we'll start to bring some of this green in there. So as you can see, I'm just kind of misting over the areas that I know I'm going to cover. And if you watch closely, I'm kind of doing it in the same pattern each time. And each time I do it, I'm getting a little bit closer so that I can fill it in just a little bit more where I want the spray to sit, like exactly where I want it to sit. I didn't want to go too close too soon, and then it's not as much of the exact spot that I want it in. So, I gave it a little room, and then here we go. That silhouette is cold. But anyway, yeah, so we're going to flip it over, drop it. It's a tool, like they say. If it's quality, it's not going to break. I'm going to tell you that now. So yeah, here we go. We just back spraying again, just back and forth. Like I said, I did on the first go around on the opposite side. Just get an idea for where my stripes are going to be at. And I didn't want to use anything that was too vertical nor too horizontal. So I figured that angle in different sections would work out just fine for what I was trying to do with the green. And then once I implement the brown into the equation, it'll really set everything off exactly how I need it to. So coming over here now, we're going to use some of the vegetation that we find outside. And I'm in Alabama, so typically this green, tan, and brown is what you're going to get in everybody's yard. Every part of the woodland area that you might travel to, hike on, neighborhood. Since I don't live in the city, this will blend in perfectly with anything going on outside of my environment. I mean, if I had to walk up and down the street or something like that, it's fitting. Plus, my favorite colors are earth tones, so I'm typically going to be matching the rifle's, base coat in a sense all the time. And as you can see, I'm going a little darker at the top since naturally typical things and that you see in nature, like animals and such, are typically darker at the top, and then on the underbellies are, pretty much white, tan. So the same thing when it comes to painting your rifle. You want to kind of keep it a little darker at the top and a little bit lighter at the bottom. Now, as you can see, I'm just kind of dropping the vegetation that I got from outside of my backyard in certain spots, and I'm still kind of leaving, a little room in between spraying it and where I'm setting the vegetation at, so I can make sure I'm getting it like right at about the spot that I really, really want. And I say that because once you see me flip it over now, you'll start to see my intentions on where I really, really, really want to see the outlines pop more at. So I'll put them down here, a couple pieces of veg, and I'll just kind of, give them a little more misting over. And we're just spraying it down, nothing fancy, here and there. And then as we go a little bit further toward the back, we'll really get to where I wanted to see the lines kind of start to pop out. So as you see, you hold it down closer and you get a little closer with your spray. Now you can get those more predominant looking markings that you're looking for to stand out exactly. You see exactly how you wanted it to stand out. That's exactly where I wanted those spots to be at. But I start off initially with just kind of putting the brown over in different spots. And then also this is the side where the window, the door is at. So when the shell casings are coming out on that side of the pistol, I want that side to be the side that is more of a camouflage look rather than the inner. And as you can see, this is the final product. This is what it looks like untaped. And I appreciate y'all for watching this video. I'm gonna holler at y'all. Peace.